match because I predict these things.
Matt Frevola takes on Kyle Nelson this Saturday at UFC Fight Night, Vancouver, Canada. And this is a good scrap. You know, Matt Frevola coming in off of 2 KO losses back-to-back, going into enemy territory to take on Kyle Nelson. 35 years old. You know, I feel like he's kind of fighting for his job in this one. And, you know, Kyle Nelson's no slouch. He's going to have home field advantage. Looked good as of late. So, curious to see how this one plays out. Matt Frevola, the Steamrolla. I mean, he can put out anybody on the feet. He's got good wrestling, so he's a dangerous guy. And the same with Kyle Nelson. You know, I think that he's very well-rounded, good striker, good takedown defense. Recently lost to Steve Garcia. Got taken down and TKO'd. I think that he took some illegal shots, but I won't even go there. But before that, he had some good performances. Was on a 3-fight winning streak before that against some good competition. You know, Bill Algeo, Fernando Padilla, Blake Builder, those are solid wins before he ran into Steve Garcia a little over a year ago. So took some time to recoup and getting back in there, 34 years old, so he's no spring chicken either. So, but Matt Frevola, 35, 5'9", 71-inch reach, 11-5-1. Like I said, coming in off of 2 KO losses over by Benoit Saint-Denis and Fares Ziam. But again, very, very good fighters. No shame in losing to those guys. But, you know, very powerful, explosive, another kind of aggressive, high-pressure striker, throws really hard, can get kind of sloppy on the feet, but also has, you know, a really good ground game as well, can shoot takedowns, he can wrestle, hunts for submissions as well. You know, we'll see him hunting for guillotines. Taking on Kyle Nelson, also a, you know, pretty well-rounded guy, 34, 5'11", 71-inch reach, 16, 6-1, so he'll be 2 inches taller, a year younger, but they'll have the same reach. Like I was saying in the beginning, good striker. Has started to develop really good takedown defense, but very technical on the feet. Can be chinned as well. So curious to see how this one goes. I don't think this one will go to a decision. I think this one will probably end in a finish. But very close fight, you know. But I'm leaning towards Kyle Nelson. Like I said, he can be chinned, but outside of that, he's shown good defense the last few fights, and you know, throughout his career for the most part. Matt Frevola, he has been chinned his last 2 fights and 4 times in his career. He's powerful. He's you know, explosive, very aggressive, and you know, he can put anybody out with his strikes. But he's also kind of loopy. You know, kind of winds up his strikes. And like I said, Nelson's shown really good defense the last few fights, and I think he'll be able to kind of deal with the forward aggression of Matt Frevola, be able to defend the takedowns that are going to be coming his way. Matt Frevola catches guys as they're coming in. Matt Frevola catches guys when they're coming in and like pushing him back, and he finds their chin because all he needs is really just one strike. He's got real knockout power. But Nelson is very technical. You know, he's technical. He does the striking basics very well. Good kicks, leg kicks, really good body kicks. He's got a sneaky like high kick that he hides behind his jab, and also very effective jab. We saw in his what was that last fight with Fernando Padilla, Blake Builder? He was just stinging those guys with his jab the entire fight. And I think he'll also be softening up the legs of Matt Frevola, who has kind of that wide stance that leaves him a little bit susceptible to leg kicks. I think that'll help him to kind of slow down the pressure, slow down the power coming his way from Frevola, taking a little sting off of his punches, and I think he'll just be able to kind of deal with the you know, the offensive onslaught coming his way. Frevola does have power, but he lunges in with his strikes, and I feel like you can kind of see them coming at times. You can kind of really prepare for the attacks that are coming his way. And Nelson has really good defense. You know, his hands are high. He's got a very like measured, efficient approach where he stays safe and kind of finds his openings, doesn't really overextend himself. And I think that's what he'll do in this fight, kind of stay within himself, not give Matt Frevola a lot of opportunities to find the power counters or to find openings on the feet. And I think that Frevola will start to slow down and kind of fight at the pace of Nelson, where he'll be able to kind of do his thing, where he's you know, not being too flashy, not really getting too crazy with his strikes, but he is landing enough to be winning the rounds and kind of hurting the guy and slowing him down. So Nelson's kind of the guy, he'll deter people from throwing or like continuing to throw with extended combinations just because his defense is so good, where it's like, okay, well, is there a counter coming, or should I even continue to throw because this guy's, you know, defending all my strikes? I'm just going to kind of wear myself out. So if you want to go guns blazing, which is what Matt Frevola will want to do, he'll keep his defense up and just kind of make you gas out. So I think Nelson, I think he'll keep this fight pretty measured and technical, mix up his strikes to all levels, leg kicks, body shots, head kicks, punches to the head, and just kind of take over as the fight progresses, as he figures out kind of the Frevola brawling style. I think he'll start to find more openings. Nelson's not the quickest guy in the world, but he does have good timing. He's got decent power. He can be aggressive at times and really unleash combos against guys when he sees his openings. But other than that, he likes to stay measured, land his shots, and be defensively responsible. But again, I just expect kind of a disciplined approach in this one, where he'll land his shots, not really take chances or take any huge blows. He's got good takedown defense, 73% takedown defense. He's strong in the clinch. He has an ability to kind of reverse guys in the clinch, get them up against the cage, and land his shots, land some knees, and then break away before they can really look for takedowns. And I think that Nelson, he'll offensively wrestle as well. Matt Frevola has been taken down in the past, so who knows if I think if Nelson finds the opportunity to shoot, he'll be shooting. So Frevola only has like 36% takedown defense, and ZM took him down like 4 times in that last fight. So I think that Nelson will build as the fight moves on, and I think that Frevola will start to tire and just be kind of hesitant to really unload on Nelson, as he's doing a really good job of defending and landing his own strikes and kind of just wearing at the heart and gas of Frevola. So I think that Nelson can eventually catch him. Nelson's sneaky good at the strikes. He's got decent power, and I don't trust Frevola's chin coming in off of these 2 last KO losses. So I think that Nelson will kind of slowly take over as the fight progresses and get a TKO KO finish into the 2nd round, 3rd round. Thanks.